Yes, friends. Today we are going to discuss one question which we have discussed yesterday, just a clarification. Then we will continue with a new topic. The question was about that gold piece and silver piece. Actually, there is a printing mistake in the question. There is a printing mistake in the question. They have mentioned density of gold to be less than density of silver, but it should be actually density of gold to be greater than density of silver. The question was two solid pieces, one of gold and other of silver, when immersed completely in water, have equal weights. When weighed in air, then we have considered this idea: weight of the body in liquid is equal to weight of the body in air minus upthrust on the body due to liquid. And finally, we got the expression W dash is equal to W into 1 minus sigma by rho, where W was the weight of the body in air, sigma is density of liquid, rho is density of body. Then using this idea for the condition in the question, given that weight of piece of gold in water is equal to weight of piece of silver in water. So we got Wg into 1 minus rho W by rho G is equal to Ws into 1 minus rho W by rho S. From this we got this ratio Wg by Ws, which is equal to 1 minus rho W by rho S divided by 1 minus rho W by rho G. Now according to question, density of gold is greater than density of silver, so I have reciprocated on either sides. So taking reciprocal on either sides, we got 1 by rho G is less than 1 by rho S. Multiplying both sides by density of water, we got the relation rho W by rho G less than rho W by rho S. Now, if we subtract these values from 1, since this is less than this difference would be greater. So 1 minus rho W by rho G is greater than 1 minus rho W by rho S. This we need to keep in mind. So this ratio, if you take 1 minus rho W by rho G divided by 1 minus rho W by rho S, this would be greater than 1. But here we wanted the reverse ratio. That means the reciprocal of this. So reciprocal we have done. If you take the reciprocal, 1 minus rho W by rho S divided by 1 minus rho W by rho G would be less than 1. That means weight of gold piece divided by weight of silver piece is less than 1. Or we can say weight of gold piece is less than weight of silver, or we can say weight of silver is greater than weight of gold. So the correct option would be option B. This is a clarification related to the question which we have discussed yesterday. Then, now we are starting the next topic's discussion. The topic is continuity equation and Bernoulli's theorem, or in other words, the equation of continuity and Bernoulli's theorem. The two are very important ideas in fluid dynamics. Till yesterday we have discussed fluid statics. Now we are starting fluid dynamics here. We are starting with question number 68. We are starting with question number 68. Question is: an ideal fluid flows through a pipe of circular cross section made of two sections with diameters 2.5 centimeter and 3.75 centimeter. The ratio of the velocities in the two pipes is 9:4, 3:2, root 3:2, root 2:3. So this idea is based on equation of continuity, and equation of continuity states that for a steady flow of incompressible and non-viscous fluid through a tube of non-uniform cross section, A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, where A1 and A2 are areas of cross section of the tube of flow at points 1 and 2, and V1 and V2 are the velocities of flow at those points respectively. So we are taking this condition here. So from equation of continuity, A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. According to question, we wanted the ratio of velocities of flow, and they have given radius. So we are changing this expression into radius in terms of radius. So area at point 1 is pi r1 square, area at point 2 is pi r2 square. When nothing is mentioned for a tube, usually we can take circular cross section, because tube will be cylindrical in shape. So the cross section would be circular. So pi r1 square v1 is equal to pi r2 square v2. pi on either sides will cancel. So we get R1 square V1 is equal to R2 square V2. That implies V1 by V2 is equal to R2 by R1 whole square. And R2 and R1 are given here. R1 is equal to 2.5 centimeter. R2 is equal to 3.75 centimeter. Substituting, we got V1 by V2 is equal to 3.75 divided by 2.5 whole square. 2.5 is 1.25 into 2. 3.75 is 1.25 into 3. So cancelling with 1.25, we get a 3 by 2 whole square as a result. 3 by 2 whole square is 9 by 4. So the correct option is option A. Then question number 80. Question number 80. A manometer connected to a closed tap reads 3.5 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. When the valve is opened, the reading of manometer falls to 3 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. Then the velocity of flow of water is 100 meter per second, 10 meter per second, 1 meter per second, 10 root 10 meter per second. This question we are going to solve using the idea of Bernoulli's theorem. Bernoulli's theorem states that in a steady and irrotational flow of incompressible non-viscous fluid through a tube of non-uniform cross-section, the sum of pressure energy per unit volume, kinetic energy per unit volume, and potential energy per unit volume is constant at any point. So if you consider 2 points 1 and 2, then in mathematical form we get this: P1 plus half rho V1 square plus rho GH1 is equal to P2 plus half rho V2 square plus rho GH2. P1 and P2 are pressures at point 1 and 2. Density of liquid is rho. V1 and V2 are velocities of flow at points 1 and 2. H1 and H2 are heights of the respective points from the reference. Then here we can apply this Bernoulli's theorem for 2 different points in a given flow, or else for the same point in 2 different conditions. Like in this question, the information is given about 2 conditions. One is in the open, when tap is open, when tap is closed. So here I am considering case 1 as when tap is open, case 2 as when tap is closed. That's why I mentioned applying Bernoulli's theorem for condition of open tap and closed tap we get. So here all the terms related to 1 will mean for condition when tap was opened, mentioned with a suffix 2 will be the condition for closed tap. So they have given the values: P1 pressure 3.5 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square when tap was open. Then P2 3 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square when the tap is closed. One moment. I need to make a small correction probably. Right. Sorry. Here P1 refers to pressure when tap is closed. So all ones represents to closed tap condition. All twos represents open tap condition. So pressure when tap is closed means when water is not coming out is 3.5 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. Then V1 is equal to 0 because no water is coming out. Then when tap is open, pressure is decreasing to 3.0 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square, and we have to find the velocity of flow. And here we are considering the same point in either cases. So H1 is equal to H2, and rho is density of water, which is 1000 kg per meter cube. So on substituting all these things, we get this relation: 3.5 into 10 power 5 plus rho GH2 is equal to 3 into 10 power 5 plus half rho V2 square plus rho GH2. Then rho GH2 on either sides is cancelled. Here I have substituted H1 is equal to H2 here. And now substitute then 3.5 into 10 power minus plus 5 minus 3 into 10 power 5 gives us 0.5 10 power 5. That is equal to half into, in place of rho we are writing 1000 into V2 square. So we get 50,000 is equal to 500 V2 square. That is nothing but 100 is equal to V2 square. That gives us V2 is equal to 10 meter per second. So the correct option is option B. Then question number 82. An ideal fluid is flowing through the given tube which is placed on a horizontal surface. If the liquid has velocities PA and VB and pressures PA and PB at points A and B respectively, then the correct relation is A and B are at same height from the ground level. The figure shown is as if the system is seen from the top, right? So here they have clearly mentioned that A and B are at same height from the ground level, and if you see this diagram, they are appearing to be different, but they have mentioned that the figure is the top view of the system. Figure is the top view of the system. So now here we have to use both equation of continuity as well as Bernoulli's theorem, because the options, if you see, they are asking us the relation between velocities as velocities VA and VB and pressures PA and PB. Relation between velocities can be given from equation of continuity, and then relation between the pressures can be obtained using Bernoulli's theorem. So now here, first of all, if you see this figure, at point A and point B, clearly the area of cross section of the tube will be same. So I'm mentioning that from figure A, that is area at A is equal to area at B. And also the tube is placed on the horizontal surface, and very clearly it is mentioned that both of them are same height. So HA is equal to HB. These two are inferences I am making from the diagram and question. Then I'm applying equation of continuity here. From equation of continuity, AAVA is equal to ABVB, where VA and VB are velocities of the flow at points A and B. And now I am substituting AA is equal to AB here. So we get AB into VA is equal to AB into VB. That gives us VA is equal to VB. That means at point, since areas are same, velocities are same. Actually, logically we can answer this without any mathematical part. Whenever we are given 2 points in the flow where area of cross section of the tube is same, their velocities will be same. This we can remember. If you remember this, no need of doing this mathematical part. Then now substituting this HA is equal to HB and VA is equal to VB in Bernoulli's principles mathematical form, we get here. See this. Applying Bernoulli's theorem for points A and B, we get this PA plus half rho VS square plus rho GHA is equal to PB plus half rho B square, rho VB square plus rho GHB. Now substituting the values, PA plus half rho VS square plus rho GHA is equal to PB plus half rho VS square plus rho GHA. Here what I have done is VB I have substituted as VA, HB I have substituted as HA. Now the two terms on either sides, the half rho VS square and half rho VS square will cancel. Rho GHA and rho GHA will be cancelled. So only the relation that is remaining is PA is equal to PB. So in this case, at point A and point B, pressures are same and velocities of flow are same. So the correct option is option C. Then question number 84. Water from a tap emerges vertically downwards with an initial velocity V0. Assume pressure is constant throughout the stream of water and the flow is steady. Find the distance from the tap at which the cross-sectional area of the stream is half the cross-sectional area of the stream at the tap. V0 square by 2g, 3 V0 square by 2g, 2 V0 square by 2g, and 5 V0 square by 2g. So this is a situation basically. In the diagram, though the here this situation is where the liquid is coming just from the tap, and as we know from the tap, as we move downward, the stream area of cross section will decrease. So that we have tried to represent here, and let us consider the area of cross section of stream at the tap as A1 and at the required position as A2, and the liquid is coming out of the tap as per the question with a velocity V0, and assume that the velocity at the point which we are considering is V2. So clearly here this would become final velocity and this would become initial velocity, and this liquid will behave like, and liquid is covering a distance of h and it is under action of gravity. So we can use the third equation of motion and write V2 square is equal to V0 square plus 2gh, and we can write from this, sorry, here it should be V2 not V1. So V2 is equal to root of V0 square plus 2gh, and then V1 is given as V0, and also they have mentioned that at this position the area of cross section is half of the area of cross section here. So A2 by A1 is equal to 1 by 2. Now all this information, if you substitute in equation of continuity, A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, we get the ratio of, we are taking first, because we have the ratio of area of cross sections, we are taking this A2 by A1 is equal to V1 by V2. A2 by A1 is 1 by 2. V1 is equal to V0. V2 is equal to root of V0 square plus 2gh. Now, squaring on both sides, we get 1 by 4 is equal to V0 square divided by V0 square by V0 square plus 2gh. Now, cross multiply, then we'll get V0 square by 2gh, V0 square plus 2gh is equal to 4 V0 square. Then taking this V0 square this side, we get 2gh is equal to 3 V0 square. Then we wanted h, so h is equal to 3 V0 square by 2g. So the correct option is option B. Then question number 85. An incompressible liquid travels as shown in the figure. The speed of the fluid in the lower branch will be. That means the speed here we have to find. 1 meter per second, 1.5 meter per second, 2.25 meter per second, 3 meter per second. So here the amount of liquid or the volume of liquid that is crossing a given point will be generally called as rate of flow, and that rate of flow of a liquid at any point is equal to product of area of cross section of flow at that point and velocity of flow at that point. So A into V is called rate of flow of liquid. And according to conservation of mass, the rate of liquid entering at any point must be equal to rate of flow of liquid leaving that point. Sorry. So now if you see this diagram, this is a point where this single stream of flow is dividing into two streams. So at this position, we are going to apply this conservation of mass. So the incoming rate of flow must be equal to outgoing rate of flow. That means rate of flow through this path plus rate of flow through this path. So that we have written here from conservation of mass, A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2 plus A3 V3. So A1, A2, A3 are given, and V1 and V2 are given, but here units are misprinted. They should be meter per second. So all these are noted here. A1 is equal to 0.12 meter square. A2 is equal to 0.12 meter square. A3 is equal to 0.18 meter square. V1 is equal to 3.3 meter per second. V2 is equal to 1.5 meter per second, not centimeter per second, meter per second. So then V3 is equal to V. We have to find V here. So now substituting all these values, we get this 0.12 meter square into 3 meter per second is equal to 0.12 meter square into 1.5 meter per second plus 0.18 meter square into V. On simplifying, we got 0.36 meter cube per second is equal to 0.18 meter cube per second plus 0.18 meter square into V. If you see all over, we have 0.18 meter square in all the terms. So we are dividing that, we get 2 meter per second is equal to 1 meter per second plus V. That gives us V is equal to 1 meter per second. So the correct option is option A. Slightly similar question here in the next question, that is 86th question. A broad pipe having a radius 10 centimeter branches into two pipes of radii 5 centimeter and 3 centimeter. If the velocity of flowing water in the pipe of radius 3 centimeter be 5 centimeter per second, determine the velocities of water in the remaining two pipes. Given that rate of discharge through the main branch is 600 I centimeter cube per second. That means rate of discharge here is nothing but rate of flow through this part is 600 pi into centimeter per 600 pi centimeter cube per second. Then we have to find velocity here and in one of these branches. So here also we are using the same idea of conservation of mass. Rate of flow of liquid entering a point must be equal to rate of flow of liquid leaving that point, and that point would be here, this point. So at this point, rate of flow of liquid from this part must be equal to rate of flow of liquid through this second branch plus rate of flow of liquid through this third branch. That we have written A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2 plus A3 V3. But in this question, they have given radii of these branches. So we have written this expression in terms of radii. A2 V2 is equal to pi R2 square V2. A3 V3 is equal to pi R3 square V2. Okay, so here the situation is this. We are assuming that there is h dash height of the liquid above this opening. Then the pressure at this position is atmospheric pressure plus rho g h dash. Then velocity of the flow at this position is v, and this we have taken as reference position, so height will be taken as 0. Now if you assume that liquid is rising up to position A, then this height would be h dash minus h. This height would be h dash minus h. That is why HA is equal to h dash minus h. And at this position, if the liquid is rising up to this position, then this space would be, this space above the point A would be empty. That is, it is exposed to atmosphere. So pressure at point A would be equal to atmospheric pressure. So that I am mentioning as P. And at this position, the liquid would be in rest condition. So velocity is equal to 0. So now applying Bernoulli's principle at this position and point A, we get this relation P1 plus half rho V1 square plus rho GH1 is equal to PA plus half rho VA square plus rho GHA. Now on substituting these values correspondingly, we get P plus rho GH dash plus half rho V square is equal to P plus rho G into H dash minus H. So now expanding this, we get also first cancelling P on either sides and expanding this, we got rho g h dash plus half rho v square is equal to rho g h dash minus rho g h. Rho g h dash on either sides can be cancelled, so that is left with half rho v square is equal to minus rho g h. So here this value, this is generally kinetic energy per unit volume, or simply kinetic energy you can say. Kinetic energy cannot be negative actually. So the statement 1 will be wrong. That means if liquid is rising up to point A, then kinetic energy of the body at this position would be negative value, which is wrong. So now applying the similar analysis by considering that liquid is rising to level B. If liquid is rising to level B, then the level of liquid from the reference is H dash plus H. Then at this position it would be exposed to atmosphere, so the pressure at this position would be atmospheric pressure, and it would be, the liquid would be in rest condition here, so velocity would be 0. So now if you apply the Bernoulli's principle to this position of opening as well as position of point B, then we get P1 plus half rho V1 square plus rho GH1 is equal to PB plus half rho VB square plus rho GHB. Now substituting the corresponding values, we got P plus rho g h dash plus half rho v square is equal to P plus rho g h dash rho g into h dash plus h. Cancelling P on either sides and expanding this term, we get rho g h dash plus half rho v square is equal to rho g h dash plus rho g h. That is giving us half rho v square is equal to rho g h, which is quite possible. Then we got h is equal to v square by 2g. So this part is proving that statements 2 and 4 are correct, and hence we are not going to verify the third statement. If at all, if you want to verify the third statement, in that case, HC should be equal to H dash. HC should be equal to H dash. And with that, if you try, you will get a half rho v square to be 0. That means kinetic energy per unit volume at this position to be 0, but it is wrong. That is why that statement 3 would be also a wrong statement. So the correct option here would be option B. Now we are using the result of this previous question in this question here. This question also is regarding an L-shaped tube with small orifice is held in water stream as shown in figure. The upper end of the tube is 10.6 centimeter above the surface of water. What will be the height of the jet of water coming from the orifice? Velocity of the water stream is 2.45 meter per second. So here we already learned that whenever an L-shaped tube is introduced into the vessel like this, then the height, the liquid will be rising up to a height of h above this free surface, which is given by v square by 2g. That we are mentioning this. When an L-shaped tube is introduced in a steady flow of incompressible non-viscous fluid such that its opening is pointing against the currents, that means flow of liquid, the liquid rises to a height h is equal to v square by 2g above the free surface of the liquid. This is important. That means this height is, this complete height is h here, which is given by v square by 2g. So now we are going to use this value of v, which is given 2.45 meter per second. Then substituting, we got h nearly 0.30 meter, that is 30 centimeter. But already this height of the tube, height of the opening of the tube is up to 10.6 centimeter. So above this opening, how much height will be there for the jet which is coming out? That is a question. So that would give like this. Height of jet coming up from RE5 is equal to 30 centimeter minus 10.6 centimeter, which is equal to 19.4 centimeter, which is nearest, the nearest option among the options is 20 centimeter. That is option B. Then question number 91. A horizontal pipeline carries water in streamline flow at a point where cross-sectional area is 10 centimeters square. 10 centimeters square. The water velocity is 1 meter per second, and pressure is 2000 Pascal. The pressure of water at another point where the cross-sectional area is 5 centimeters square is. So here we are using the both equation of continuity and Bernoulli's principle. First of all, using the equation of continuity, A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. They have given A1 V1 and A2 values for us. A1 is equal to 10 centimeters square, A2 is equal to 5 centimeters square, V1 is 1 meter per second. So substituting, we get 10 is equal to 5 V2, that is V2 is equal to 2 meter per second. So now you have V1 and V2 both. And clearly they have mentioned that the flow is horizontal. In case of a horizontal flow, the 2 points of the liquid which we are considering, or the 2 points which we are considering, will be always at same height. So H1 is equal to H2. That using in Bernoulli's principle, we will get P1 plus half rho V1 square is equal to P2 plus half rho V2 square. So substituting all the values given, we get 2000 plus half into 1000 into 1 square. 1000 here we have substituted as density, because density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube, is equal to P2 plus half into 1000 into 2 square. So on simplifying, you'll get P2 is equal to 500 Pascal. So the correct option is option C. Then question number 92. A long cylindrical tank of radius 1 meter is being filled by a pipe of radius 2 centimeter. The incoming water has a velocity of 1 meter per second. The tank has a hole of radius 1 centimeter at the bottom. What is the height of the water in the tank in steady state? 0.4 meter, 0.6 meter, 0.8 meter. The level continue to increase. So here we are going to use the equation of continuity. That is A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. In this in this case, there is a hole at the bottom of the tank, so the liquid will be coming out of the hole. That will be called as efflux, and velocity of that efflux will be given by the formula V is equal to root 2gh. This is from Torricelli's theorem, one of the applications of Bernoulli's principle. So V is equal to root 2gh will be the velocity of liquid coming out of the hole. And now here, if you use the equation of continuity, we have A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, but in this question area of cross sections are not mentioned, but radii are mentioned. So we are writing it in terms of radii, that we get R1 square V1 is equal to R2 square V2. Here R1 is the radius of the pipe through which liquid is coming into the tank, and R2 is the radius of the hole at the bottom. V1 is the velocity of liquid, that is velocity of water coming from pipe, and V2 will be velocity of efflux or velocity of water coming from the hole. Now they have given us R1, R2 and V1. So here R1 is equal to 2 centimeter, R2 is equal to 1 centimeter, and V1 is equal to 1 centimeter. And then V2 is equal to root 2gh. And this h is nothing but height of the liquid column above the hole. Since hole is made at the bottom of the tank, this h also represents height of the water in the tank. That's why we mentioned if h is the height of the water in tank, then V2 is equal to root 2gh. So now substituting all values, we get here. Substituting all values, we get here 2 square into 1 is equal to 1 square into root 2gh. That is 4 is equal to root 20h. So substituting g is equal to 10 here. Then squaring on either sides, we got 16 is equal to 20h, or h is equal to 16 by 20, that is 0.8 meter, which is option C. Question number 93. A liquid flows through a horizontal tube as shown in figure. The velocities of liquid in the two sections which have areas of cross section A1 and A2 are V1 and V2 respectively. the difference in the levels of liquid in the two vertical tubes is H, then here we are going to apply Bernoulli's principle to point 1 and point 2, and here both points A1 1 and 2 are at same horizontal level, so we will take H1 is equal to H2. Then we end with this relation P1 plus P2, P1 plus half rho V1 square is equal to P2 plus half rho V2 square. So here they have given that we are supposed to find this difference in levels of liquid in the vertical tubes. We need to remember that this difference in levels of liquid in both the tubes will be equal to pressure, is indicating pressure difference between pressure difference of liquid at these 2 points 1 and 2. So here we are writing the expression in terms of pressure difference. P1 minus P2 is equal to half rho into V2 square minus V1 square. So now P1 minus P2 is equal to the pressure due to this H height of the liquid. So P1 minus P2 is equal to rho GH. On substituting, we get rho GH is equal to half into rho into V2 square minus V1 square. That gives us V2 square minus V1 square is equal to 2GH. So the correct option is option A. Okay, that's all for today, students.